make sense that is expected.
But do you think that do you think that the application of the anti-open grazing bill has fueled the situation or has really calmed it down?
Well, you see, I look at the anti-open grazing as a very futuristic thing, because something must be done somehow to check what's been going on. You'll accept with me that it's a repeated thing all over. Now, when you look at the sheets of pictures all across the Nigerian pages, you see a herdsman hanging an AK, you see crops being eaten, and all you hear from Yeti Allah and other formations are the simple fact that over 2 million cows are killed and 1,000 Fulanis killed, not giving the consideration to other cases that have similar applications. Now, whether that applies or not, it's a point in contention of the simple fact that the open grazing field is a futuristic thing. The governors of Taraba and the governors of Benue, the governor of Taraba and the governor of Benue, have taken time to have a good look at what they feel can be best applied, to the terrains that are there. And when you look at the reactions coming from the federal government, it's like a counter of what is expected. You are spending billions, on farmers to raise crops. And somebody comes in, with his own worth of cattle, let me say also billions, eating it up. So that tells you that you are not going to have a very comfortable, economic environment that will take Nigeria somewhere. But above all, to me, it's not the money we spend, on what raises economy, which is still in shreds. It's about the lives that are killed and the people that are daily, losing their lives, and the insecurity and the possible dimension to which this is leading to. From an economic war, it is taking religious dimension. It is taking ethnic dimension. It's putting stress on national security. It's making us to lose, cohesion. And that, what that implies is that whether you like it or not, the Nigerian entire security scope lacks self-evidence to tell you what this is exactly. When you hear, the IGP of police, talk about communal clash, while it is something to do with Herdsmen and something.
Although he has apologized.
He supports that to some extent. It gives a wrong narrative.
He has apologized on that.
Yeah, if he apologized on that, it's still going on. We had a case of our own CP in Adamawa State who came and landed on the same booby trap. So what I'm simply trying to say is there is no cohesion in the articulation of narratives. From the DSS to the police to the army.
You have, almost throughout your conversation here, you've stayed on more or less one thing. The semantics, the kind of words that are used, the mode of communication of the situation on ground. What do you advise as a solution to this?
As a matter of fact, nobody likes chaos and destruction. Personally, I've seen it all. I can comfortably tell you there's a village that was raided. Out of the 87 people, I have the long list with me, 17 of them were macheted by herdsmen. 35 of them, were killed by gunshots, and 33 of them outrightly killed by a bomb by the Nigerian Air Force. Why I want to take time to make this particular emphasis is the simple fact that there's something missing somewhere for even these security services to have an understanding of what situations are and to define them effectively. That's why the importance of narrative comes in, and the words you use to describe issues matter. Except if somebody is trying to be mischievous, some of these things could be better placed in such a context that will be understood that this is an economic war rather than a religious war. This is, a communal clash instead of something else that has been insinuated. Now, when you hear a senator stand out there on the floor of the National Assembly, Senator Goje will stop making reference to Achama militias. You know what the definition of a militia is. And that becomes what is reflected in security reports. And it becomes what is reflected on the media. That takes possession of the entire context. So the issue of communication matters a lot. And it sets a precedent. I come here to listen. I watch channels like I read the Bible. And when I see apostles of peaceful coexistence coming in here to talk to you about security, I get excited. I've not met Captain Umar.
I'm sure you'll get to meet him.
Yeah, I'll get to meet him.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Yeah, thank you very much. But what I'm simply trying to say is communication is quite important.
Thank you so much indeed, Mr. John Ngamsa, former commissioner.
Dr. John Ngamsa.
Dr. John Ngamsa,
Thank you.
Former Commissioner of Information, Adamawa State. So much indeed. Thank you for talking to us about this very contentious twist of religious inclination to this crisis that we have in our hands. Sunrise Daily will be back in just a moment. Join us again.